I work night security at an office building in a wealthy district. I took the job because it paid well, though most nights were boring. One rainy night, the outdoor cameras kept fogging up, making them nearly useless. About half an hour into my shift, the system detected motion near the front door. I went downstairs to check, but saw no one. Minutes later, I heard a phone ringing from an office below. I tracked it down and found a desk phone glowing with unknown caller. Oddly, it wasn't the reception desk. It was a random desk in the middle of the office. I didn't answer, but the phone kept ringing off and on for the next hour. At 1 a.m., while making rounds, I heard a loud thump in the stairwell. When I checked the front door system, I noticed something chilling. The alarm had been put on pause, a function I never used. Someone had disabled it to sneak inside. I hurried upstairs, but on the third floor, I noticed the door to the office hallway, where the mysterious phone had been ringing, was left open. As I stepped closer, everything went black. I'd been struck hard in the back of the head. Barely conscious, I saw a blurry figure in the doorway before stumbling away, escaping out of the building. I called 911 from my work phone and hid behind my car until help arrived. Police searched but found no one. The whole thing felt too calculated, choosing a rainy night when cameras wouldn't work, knowing an obscure office phone number, and pausing the alarm system without triggering alerts. I was left with a concussion, no answers, and the eerie knowledge that whoever broke in had planned it carefully. I still work there for now, but every night I feel like I'm being watched. I was 16 sometime during the summer, home alone for the weekend while my parents were away. Most of my time was spent upstairs in my room with headphones on, gaming, watching videos, and snacking. At one point, I started hearing voices. At first, I thought it was just a video playing in the background, but everything was paused. When I took off my headset, I realized the voices were coming from outside my window. It was raining, so I couldn't make out what was being said. By the time I got up to check, the voices stopped. I went downstairs, looked outside, but didn't see anyone. Later, while I was back gaming, I heard it again. This time the voice was clearer. Someone was calling my name. Not my full name, but my nickname, Eli. The man's voice sounded gravelly, like a smoker in his 50s, and I realized with horror that it wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from inside the house, right below me. Panicking, I quietly opened my bedroom door and heard him again, softly calling, "Eli." His tone was disturbingly calm and casual, like he was a family friend looking for me. But this was no one I knew. Terrified, I slipped out onto the small roof ledge outside my window. Rain made it slick, but I couldn't risk staying inside. That's when I realized I'd left my phone on my desk. As I thought about going back, I saw a shadow in the hallway outside my room. The intruder had made it upstairs. I hid low on the ledge as the man entered my room, still calling my name. I saw his shadow moving around, checking my desk, and realizing I had to be nearby. At that moment, instinct told me I'd be caught if I stayed. So I dangled from the ledge and dropped 10 feet into the wet grass below. My legs hurt badly, but I ran to the neighbors for help. No one answered their doors, but eventually, one house called the police after hearing me bang frantically. By the time officers arrived, the intruder was gone. They did find my window fully open, proof he'd checked the ledge after I escaped. My legs swelled from the fall, but I wasn't seriously hurt. To this day, I don't know who that man was or why he knew my nickname, but I'll never forget that soft, gravelly voice calling out from inside my own home. A few months ago, I was hanging out with my buddy Ryan. We were drinking and relaxing when he decided to drive back to his place to grab some clothes so he could stay over. About 20 minutes later, I heard a knock at the door. Expecting Ryan, I opened it without checking first. Big mistake. Instead of my friend, a strange man stood there in soaked black clothes, grinning. He stuck his foot in the doorway to keep it open. I quickly told him I thought he was someone else and tried to close the door, but he just smiled and kept his foot planted. After a tense moment, he finally stepped back and let me shut the door. I brushed it off as creepy but harmless until I noticed Ryan's car parked outside later, but no sign of Ryan. I called his phone and saw it light up inside the car. That's when the dread set in. The man from earlier must have intercepted him. While searching, I realized the back hallway of my house was unusually dark. As I stepped closer, I saw a faint figure pressed against the wall, trying to stay hidden. He suddenly moved toward me, arm raised, holding something. Though I couldn't see it clearly, I didn't stick around to find out. I bolted out the front door and called the police from a neighbor's porch. Cops arrived quickly and stormed inside. They saw the man in the hallway, but he escaped out the back in the heavy rain. Thankfully, they found Ryan tied up in a stolen car down the road. The intruder had held him at gunpoint, forced him away, and then came back for me. When I saw him raise his arm, he had been pointing a gun at me. Had I hesitated, both me and Ryan could have been taken. The man was never caught. To this day, the memory of opening my door to that smiling stranger still makes me shiver.